Hello and good evening and welcome to this evening's live, and welcome to those of you who are joining us on the recording also. Tonight we're going to look at a product within Microsoft 365 that helps with one of the most important aspects of today's world. We all have lots of tasks that we need to complete, and we all need some way of keeping track of all of those tasks. Well, what we're going to show you today, and stick around to see how this app can help you, is how Microsoft Planner can help you to keep a track of those tasks that your team is working on, help you to understand how you can add additional information into those tasks to know where those tasks are up to, where they're currently at, and where they need to go kind of in order for them to get completed. And yeah, just how you can share those really easily with your team, and some analytics as well on the data within those plans. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into my screen share here. Here we go. So this is our Microsoft 365 portal here, as you should be accustomed to now, especially if you've watched this series up until now. So we generally start from here, from the Microsoft 365 portal. And if you have a look down here on the left-hand side, I can't see an icon for a Microsoft Planner. So as we've seen in other lessons, we can go into the waffle here and we can look for Planner here. So we can find it here in the waffle, or if you can't find it even in the waffle, you can click down here on the bottom left-hand side of the screen and you can click on All Apps, and that will bring back all of those apps that are in your Office 365 or Microsoft 365 subscription. So let's go into the planner. So two ways of getting into it on your desktop. So you can either come in from the Microsoft 365 portal, or another way of getting into the planner is through Microsoft Teams, and we'll show you how to set up the app in order to get Planner within Microsoft Teams in a second. So click on Planner here. This will take us into a new tab. So it's loading up. You can see that I've been in here before, and I've got a few plans that have already been set up. So this is the home page. So here we have recent plans on the left-hand side that we've been working on, and we also have recent plans here, but we can change that to all, for example. So I can include all of the plans that I've been working on at any one time here. So you can see several kind of different planners there. In order to demonstrate this, I am going to create a new plan. So up here on the top left-hand side, so we create a new plan. So plan name is let's just make sure that we've shown it to the live. So we're not going to add it to a Microsoft 365 group. We'll do that when we come into the Teams way of setting up a plan in a few minutes. We're going to leave this private because generally when you're working with a group of people, you'll want to keep it private and you want to control who has access to that plan. And especially if you're adding documents and you're adding updates to those tasks within the planner, which mean that that kind of plan really should be, you know, kind of kept private between that group. If you have a lot of tasks, for example, that maybe you are working on as an organization together and they are things that are out there in the open, then certainly you could create a public plan to show people where different tasks are up to, but just be aware that anyone in that organization will be able to see those public plans. We've got a few options here, so we can describe the group as well, just to make it a bit easier to find. But for now, we'll just create this plan. So it's creating that plan. And now we'll just show you a few of the concepts within Planner and how it organizes the data that you're putting in here. So you can see here that up at the top right-hand side, it's very easy. So we can see the members who have access to that plan. We've got filters, and we can also group the items by buckets. And the terminology bucket within Microsoft Planner comes down to a way of putting different tasks into different kind of columns in a way, into different categories. So the bucket is a way of creating a new category for those tasks. So here we have add new bucket, and that, for example, would create a new column away from this to-do bucket here. So you can kind of create ones with specific categories, for example, or you could have some within a certain status, and you could kind of sort them by those kind of things. So you can set up those buckets as you need. So we're going to add a new task here. So we already have a to-do bucket, so we can add a task there. And carrying on our other days from our Spanish food festival, let's create some menus. Crete menu. I'm sure that would be really nice food, actually, from Crete. Anyways, so set the due date, so we can do some initial setting up of these tasks. So we can say, I want that done by next week, and we can even assign it to someone. Now, within this list, you will get all of those users who are in this group. So you would be able to assign this to another user were there to be someone else in this group. I will assign it to myself for the time being, and I'll add that task. So now you can see we have one task created. This one is in the to-do bucket. Now, this one is in the to-do bucket on the left-hand side. I'm now going to add another bucket, and I'm going to call this sponsors. What we can do here now is we can add a task here. So contact potential sponsors, and I want that done by the 22nd, say, and I'm going to again assign it to this poor person here, who is the only one who is able to accept any of these tasks. So we'll add that again. There we go. So that's in there now. So as you can see, we've got one in the to-do bucket. Potentially the to-do could be used for things that haven't been triaged yet. So, you know, things that have come in, but you haven't really assigned them to a specific kind of group of tasks yet. So you would know that anything in to-do, for example, needs to be passed out to someone to work on. And we can just move these really easily by dragging and dropping between the different buckets. Okay, so how does this appear, for example, when we look into a task? So there's only very basic information here. So let's click on that task. Oh, there we go. And you can see that once we click into a task, there's a lot more information that we can add about that task. So we can add a label to it. There are predefined color labels, for example, so we can, you know, assign different colors to different things as well. We can set the progress on here, so there's a couple of options there. Priority, we can say if it's urgent as well, so that's really useful to be able to really see those items that are priority and waiting to be done. We can add a description. Checklists are really good. So if we have a high level task that we want broken down into different tasks, and we can make it easier for someone else to follow the instructions that we want them to carry out, then we can add items into this checklist. So there we go. So we'll just add right menu, and we print menu. So that allows people to really understand what tasks have been done, and where that is on the you know, in the status. So show that on the card as well. So I'll show you how that looks once we get back into the kind of overall planner there. Comments. So as you're kind of completing a task, you can add comments in there. If you've got questions for other people, you might want to add comments as well. And a really useful one is you can add attachments also here. So you can add files, a link or a URL, so you can add kind of different things in there to add context to what you're doing in relation to that task. Okay, so this all saves automatically, so we don't need to save as such. We just need to close this down, and now you can see on the card in the planner that we have all that information showing, and we decided to show the checklist on the card, and that's why the checklist is showing here. Okay, great. So in terms of analytics, we can see charts up here at the top. So this is the link up here at the top. So we can see where tasks are. Have they been started? Are they in progress? We can see which buckets different tasks are in. We can see the priority of them, so we can see those that are urgent, and we can see which members have been assigned tasks. So potentially, if you want to see if any one of your team members is, has too much to do, then it would become very clear within this kind of planner whether they've got lots of items and maybe someone else has got one or two. Schedule is another useful one. So up here at the top, schedule, if we click on schedule, it shows us a calendar with those dates that we put in, so the due dates, so we can see which of these tasks are coming up. So I can see that in 2 days, I need someone to have contacted those potential sponsors for that. And finally, so just in terms of the 3 dots, so we've got some additional things that we can do also. So we can copy this plan. So if we've got, say, a plan for if we work with other companies and we do the same kind of job for different companies, we can copy that plan and just take the data over that we want to. We can export this plan to Excel also, and we can add that plan to an Outlook calendar. So lots of flexibility there. I showed you just up here at the top right, and we're going to move into Teams in a second, so you can group also these different views by different ways to see it. So for example, here we're grouping by bucket, but I can change that to assigned to. So now, rather than having the buckets at the top, we've got the users and all their tasks underneath them. Okay, so I told you there'd be 2 ways of getting in here. So I'm going to now show you how to get into the planner from Microsoft Teams. So I'll open up my Teams client. So here we are in Microsoft Teams. We're in the Fiesta Food in a general channel. And what we need to do is we need to look for an app. So we're going to go to our apps down here. There we go. So click on apps. And we're going to look for, and here we have, actually, this is great. This is the new apps portal. So this has been redesigned, and it's the first time I've actually seen the redesigned apps portal. So yeah, it looks really nice, and I'll be looking into that. And I think I might do a live on this tomorrow evening. Okay, so tasks by planner and to do is the one that we need. So we can add this in to our team and channel. Here we go. So you can see here on the left-hand side that we have a new app here, which is tasks by planner and to do. There we go. So here I can see shared plans, for example. So it actually includes also this app. It shares my shows me also my tasks here. So there are tasks that are assigned to me, and there are also the plans that make a part of that. So if I have a look at the Fiesta Food, we can see that this plan here is being created, and this one is in that general channel. So what we can also do here now is we can go into the team itself. Just taking a while there. So we can go into the team itself, and up here on our tabs, we can click on the plus icon here. Okay, just wait for that to load. Tasks by planner and to do has now come up to the top here. We can add a tab. Okay. There we go. And now I'm going to have a look for the existing. So I do need to call it something else. Let's see if we can open that one up. Oh, there we go. So it's automatically added the one at the end. And there we go. So that has opened up a planner that is available within this Fiesta Food group. Okay, so there we go. 2 ways of getting in through the Microsoft Office 365 portal and the Microsoft Teams. We'll just leave you with our website address, which is there on the bottom of the screen now. head on over, join our mailing list, get to find out about these kind of live events that we're doing. And we will see you again tomorrow. And like I said, I think I will try and do the new apps kind of store within Teams experience tomorrow. So, okay, see you tomorrow. And thank you very much for joining us. Okay, see you. Bye.